your goals are very different than other people's? How do you commit and move forward in your life when there really isn't a roadmap? Hi, and welcome back to Ask Dr. Saira, the show where I answer your questions about relationships, personal development, and mental health. So today's question comes from Rory. And Rory says, what if I don't care about financial, career, or business success? Does that make me a failure? What should I commit to then? What if I don't care about financial, career, or business success? Does that make me a failure? What should I commit to then? I love this question because it addresses something that's come up a lot in my growth community as well, my personal growth community, which you're welcome to join at, by the way, little caveat here. So Dr. Saira's growth group on Facebook. If you've been watching my videos and you kind of like what I'm offering, you're welcome to join our very closed Facebook group called Dr. Saira's growth group. And it'll ask you how you know me. And so just write in, been following you on YouTube or something like that so that we know, because only people who actually have been engaging get to be in that group. So why did I even start talking about that? Oh yeah, right, because people in the group have been asking this question, like, what if the way that other people define success isn't really a goal for me? Then what? Does that make me a failure? If business and money and that's not my goal, does that make me a failure? Great question. So if you're on YouTube and you look up commitment or commitment to self, there's kind of two themes of videos that show up. So the first theme is, I mean, in no particular order. So one theme is commitment in relationship, in intimate partnership, right? So there's commitment and how to stay committed and all that. And the other one is the kind of commitment to yourself. And the way that they talk about that are those kind of motivational, inspirational clips. And those motivational, inspirational clips, I was reviewing them for one of our Monday Musings. And I noticed that a lot of the images that are used in those clips are images of physical activity. So like, somebody running a race, or somebody climbing a mountain and having a beautiful view, or somebody swimming, or somebody weight training, or like all of these physical activity goals. And then the other themes, the visions that I get are like business, like hitting a business goal, like hitting some amount of money goal, right? And that seems to be what people are visually depicting as commitment. So this really kind of made me stop and wonder for a minute and say, like, okay, if I want to get motivated to do something, and these are the images that I'm getting, like, oh, like the climb a mountain stuff, like, I'm not interested. I climb a mountain every day. I live on a mountain. So I'm not interested. That doesn't to me feel like a success thing, right? It feels like just how I live. I'm not like a marathon runner, and I have no intention of doing that. And so those physical, like the body goal stuff doesn't really appeal to me. It doesn't really make sense to me, right? As far as like a metaphor for commitment. The way that I'm kind of playing around with commitment is more from what kind of a life do I want to live, and how do I want to feel in my life? What do I need to commit to feel a certain way in my life, right? Because these goals, these milestones, these kind of external things that we strive for, like success, they often end up making you feel empty. And I've heard this from dozens and dozens of people. I thought when I got that promotion that things would change. I thought when we finally got married that it would be better. I thought when, our child was back from the hospital that it would all be okay. And it's not. Maybe there's a moment when there's a sense of relief or a sense of pride or accomplishment, but tomorrow you're back to, regular life. There's a saying in Zen Buddhism that before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water, right? So even enlightenment, even getting to enlightenment, like, and then what, right? And then what? That was a moment in time. And so I think there's an opportunity to reframe the idea of success, to reframe how we see goals and goal setting and commitment, to adjust it. And maybe you have a goal of, climbing a mountain, or, some physical fitness task, or maybe you have a goal for some business task. But if those aren't your interest areas, That's okay. Maybe your goal is to have like a peaceful afternoon at your in-laws. And when you get through that, you feel like, oh, we got through something. That was something good, right? Maybe your goal is to feel more connected to your partner. Right? How do you quantify that? How do you measure that? There's no like, oh, on March 17th, I realized I was now more bonded to my partner. It doesn't work like that. And so what if instead of seeing success as like some goal that we're getting to, we kind of delete that whole definition and redefine for ourselves and say, what I define as a successful life for me is these values being lived in my life. So the value, and your values will be different than mine, right? Some examples of some of my values are things like generosity and honesty and fairness and friendship, right? These are some of my values. I have lots more, but the big one for me that I'm kind of revolving myself around these days is inner harmony, right? Feeling that sense of inner harmony. And so when I've spent a day, gone through a day, and doing all the tasks that are required of me in any given day, and I feel that sense of inner harmony like most of the time, to me, that's a successful day, right? And I might have one of those and then 6 unsuccessful days. That's okay. My goal is to spend more time in that inner harmony. And I think this is really important for people who experience mental illness, like depression or anxiety or other mental illnesses, because when we start comparing ourselves to people out there who don't maybe have the same limitations and restrictions that our brains do, it can feel really discouraging. It can feel like we're not measuring up. And we live in a society where it's this competition and who's better and how much do you have and faster, stronger, more successful. And I've had to disentangle myself from that way of thinking in order to have that inner harmony that I am striving for. And if you look back, there might have been periods in your life where those goals were very meaningful and achieving those goals felt really good. But I would encourage you to think about, how long did that last, right? How long did that good feeling last? This too shall pass. Even the good feelings, they pass, right? And so it's not about some goal helping us to feel this way. It's, can I have that within me? And then wherever I show up, I'm peaceful or generous or fair or whatever, your values are. And so to answer your question, Rory, I would say, you know, what if I don't care about career, financial, business? Does that make me a failure? No. And what should I commit to then? Perhaps something like this idea is like a daily practice of, how do I want to feel today? And committing to that. So that means that in the middle of some decision or middle of some chaos, you ask yourself, okay, what did I commit to? Okay, I committed to generosity today. And if I make this choice, this will be the generous choice. I'm going to do that, right? And so kind of checking with yourself all through the day. That's the commitment, those mini micro moments of commitment. And I think that's more realistic than like, you know, one day I will be this incredible person. Yeah, but you have to take these little steps to become that person, right? To get there. And so that's what I would say, that it's okay if those are not your interest areas, the financial success, the business success, the physical fitness images, if they don't speak to you, totally fine. This is another way that you can practice commitment. So until next time, I hope you do well in your self-exploration, and I'll see you soon. Bye.